इस तुम लोग को ये क्यों ऐसा होता है? एक आएगा दूसरा नहीं आएगा।
वो ट्रिप पे गया स्कूल में।
दोनों
नहीं दूसरा नहीं होता, तनुष गया।
तनुष गया। तो स्नेहा का पता नहीं, इसलिए मैं तुम लोगों का वजह से कितना कैंसिल करना पड़ा। संडे का भी कैंसिल करना, सैटरडे को भी ऑल ऑफ अ सडन कैंसिल होता है। What to do? We have lot of portions to complete. So how was your exam? These all lessons over now?
History was good, civics was good.
Civics, no, you people are not paying that much attention, no?
But no, history was really good. I could attend all the questions. Civics was a bit suspicious.
But the civics compulsory part is there.
That's all.
That part.
No, I thought like I had a brief about the civics, so I knew what was it. So I didn't focus that much on civics at the end, at the exam, one day before the exam. So I studied history. Like my main focus was on history because civics was like okay, I'll do it. So I did history more, and which helped me. The first World War I didn't study at all. I just studied at last minute. I got it, but civics I could not do much because I could not even revise it at the end. So that was the problem. Civics, but history was good. First World War, everything.
So, what we will start independence and partition of India? Because that day, Sneha was there, no? So last day, one day, Sneha was there. So forward block and INA. Okay, I think I have completed or not. I don't remember. Which one you want now?
No, you can do forward block and INA was an exam.
Was not there in the exam. That was there.
I was there. Independence and partition of India was not there. Forward block and INA was not there.
It was there because Sneha told me that it is coming. All
those and 13 chapters. So I have studied. I have a knowledge about it. Rise of dictatorship, second World War.
See, because here we haven't learned about that independence and partition. So you tell which one I
should. You can do rise of dictatorship or independence.
Because it is going to come for your board exam. So for that purpose, it has to be completed.
Which is independence.
So what we will do, that is, you want to see some one video and that main ideas, and within one lecture we can complete that.
Independence? No, I have the knowledge of it, so we can start it.
Okay, no.
Because I have studied roughly, so I have an idea.
Okay. See, when we talk about independence of India, we have to understand about the Second World War time. Britain was not ready to give independence, but it wanted to persuade Indians to participate in it. So they tried so many ways to persuade India to be a party in the war. That is why Cripps mission was sent during the Second World War, 1942. But the Cripps mission failed. Now, British understood that India is not going to accept anything lesser than independence. So, because of that, they sent cabinet mission to India. Cabinet mission, why it was called cabinet mission? It consists of cabinet ministers. 3 members members were there in the cabinet mission. Pethick Lawrence, Stafford Cripps, A.V. Alexander. These were the members of that cabinet mission. Have you seen?
This is the event that had led to the collaboration.
No, no, no. But all things are not there. You just see that. Hmm. Cabinet mission plan only there. Hmm? So it is coming. Cabinet mission in India, this one.
This process is
Process is there, but here I am telling that one. What say cabinet mission was sent to India in February, okay, 1946. So what happened during the Second World War? Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of England. So Winston Churchill was not a person who was very much kind to Indian demands. So during that time, the people turned against him. But war time, no election was there. That is why he continued. But immediately after the war, uh, that elections were taken place and a new government came to power. That was known as Labour Party. Okay. And the Labour Party, partition and what is the name of the lesson? Independence and partition. Okay. So what he did, he promised that I will give you or we will give you independence before 1948 June. What was the assurance? 1948 June. That is before that they will give independence. So that is why to prepare that plans, cabinet mission was sent to India. Clear? What was the aim of the cabinet mission and who? That was the person, the prime minister at that time was Clement Attlee. This name also you have to remember. Okay, Clement Attlee. You can underline that points also. Clement Attlee, the new British Prime Minister, declared in the House of Commons on February 19, 1946. Have you seen? That the mission's aim would also be to help the Indian leaders decide the form of government that would suit them after the transfer of power. 96 page. So, cabinet mission would be sent and its aim would be to help Indian leaders to decide the form of government. Underline that point. Okay. Then, who were the members consisted in that? Pethick Lawrence, Stafford Cripps, A.V. Alexander. Okay. Now, the aim was to discuss with the Indian leaders. Now, directly we are going to discuss about the process. That is very important. What were the process of that cabinet mission? First was that formation of a federal union. Okay. There will be a federal union consist of provinces and princely states. Okay? Federal union consists of provinces and princely states. What is provinces here? The territories directly ruled by the British were known as provinces. Princely states were the regions ruled by
the kings.
So that also you underline. What is federal union? And this federal union will have, the central government will have powers of important matters like defense, communication, and one more thing.
Foreign affairs.
Communication and foreign affairs. Now you just compare it with the present government. We have central government and state governments. Central government only looking after this very important matter. The same thing was the first plan. Federal Union consists of provinces and the princely states, and the central government would enjoy most important powers like defense, communication, and foreign policy. Is it clear? Now, second point. Powers of the union. The union would have its own executive and legislature. Its own executive and legislature composed of members of elected so those who are elected from the provinces will consist in that executive and legislature. So its own government, union government have its own government including executive and legislature, and they are elected from the provinces. Clear? You are present here now? Now, third, provincial autonomy. You tell me, read it.
Provincial autonomy.
Autonomy explanation.
The group Acha. The provinces were enjoy for an autonomy of all subjects other than the subjects.
See, provinces will enjoy autonomy for all subjects other than the union. We have seen that the central government will enjoy defense, communication, foreign policy. Leaving that rest all the powers, they can take decisions, or all matters they can take a decision. That is called the provincial autonomy. Clear? Now, next, grouping of provinces. Are you marking? Say, the provinces are grouped into three categories.
Group A, Group B, Group C.
Group A consists of 6 Hindu majority provinces.
Madras, Bombay.
That if you did not write also will do. So 6 Hindu majority, that is there were 9 provinces. Out of that, group A consists of Hindu majority provinces, they were 6. Then group B consists of 3 Muslim majority provinces. Clear? And group C include Bengal and Assam.
Chief.
So that you leave Bengal and Assam.
C went to leave.
No, you just read
So Bengal and Assam.
Bengal and Assam.
Only Bengal.
Bengal and Assam, that next.
Chief
Chief Commissioner, you will forget. That is why I am telling, at least if you are remembering this one. Okay. Because they were not included in that provinces group. Grouping understood? Now, fifth one is formation of Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly is the assembly to frame the constitution for the country. Understood? So at that time, it was decided to have 389 members from all these areas. Understood? So those members who were not represent those communities, that minorities and all, who were not represented, from them also people should be included. Understood? So provinces earlier, according to 1937 election, was done on that basis, members to be elected. How many? 389
Out
members.
of which 296 were
Through 296 were
elected from the British provinces. And 93 were princely state.
okay. Now this people started working on that, making the constitution. 1946 itself it was formed, and 1946 December their first meeting was there, and they were working on it. Now we know that in 1947 August 15th we got independence, because Clement Attlee told that before 1948 June we would be given. So before itself. So then what to do? So out of that, the Muslim members were separated and they started preparing their constitution. Pakistan was separated and Muslim members from this also got separated. So finally, when the constitution was making, 299 members only were there. That is not there. Last year we have studied. Okay. Clear? Then representation from minorities. I have already mentioned it. Who were considered as minorities? Anglo-Indians. Anglo-Indians and six. Muslim League, when it was separated, then Muslim people were also to be there. That is India's part, the Muslim representation was there.
But what does representation of minorities mean?
Minorities means population wise less number.
So less.
Okay.
Less.
That time or now also they are considered as minorities, population wise. Okay. Now next one is formation of interim government. What is interim government? That is when the transfer of power have to be taken place, they should have a government to take off. So how that government would be? There is no election had been taken place. So how? So Viceroy's Executive Council, 14 members were transferred as the government, interim government. Got it? Interim government is that till elected government come, who will take over that position. Next is freedom to join the Commonwealth. What is Commonwealth? The Commonwealth is that those territories which were earlier part of the British Empire. So if India wanted to join the Commonwealth, they can join. Princely states wanted to stand separately and join the Commonwealth, they can. So there is no compulsion whether to join or not to join. Understood? So those countries which were part of earlier British Empire were called a Commonwealth, and it was given to India that whether they wish to join or not. Understood? Then transfer of power. it would be necessary to work out a treaty between the Constituent Assembly and the United Kingdom for matters arising out of the transfer. See, when this power has to be transferred, how it will be done? That will be decided by Constituent Assembly and the British government. So, for actual transfer of power, there would be a treaty between government and the Constituent Assembly. Any doubt? No. Now, afterwards, there was a change that Lord Wavell was the viceroy at that time. He was called back, and then Lord Mountbatten was appointed as the viceroy. You have to. See, this one also you have to study. Let me see, is there or not? Mountbatten plan, clauses and its accidents, and anything. That is not there. Relations.
But I studied it in next.
I
did study it.
You don't have to. But this one, Mountbatten plan, why they have accepted that is.
But there was option, so I didn't agree. There was an option, so ma'am told that if you want to be building one of the chapters, it won't have that much.
But this chapter is along with which forward block is.
No, it was Quit India.
Quit India movement and partition.
No, Quit India movement or independence.
That will be partition.
First world, man told that the First World War when it will come, and just one day before or 6 hours before the exam, man told that we go had First World of Independence and First World War. Then it will come separately before next 6 hours ago. So I read it very hard. Seriously, and
that this lesson anyhow it is coming.
Ma'am told us that it is coming. It came in the optional, but ma'am told that it will come.
But
so
no, God is done also it is there. So anyhow question used to come.
And these three were together.
These three used to be together.
And the growth of nationalism also.
Growth of nationalism is coming along with this one. Now, first phase, second phase. No.
First phase, second phase, and Muslim League will come together.
Because nationalism and this, it is combined.
And Mahatma and this coming separately. So I did this first part of independence thoroughly, then this one and in exam and
now let us see Mountbatten. So Lord Wavell was called back, and Lord Mountbatten was appointed as the Viceroy of India. The main aim was that this Lord Mountbatten was having good terms with the Indian leaders. So that would make it easy for completing the process of transfer of power. That is why he was asked to prepare a plan for the transfer of power. That plan came to be known as Lord Mountbatten plan. Got it? What were the important clauses of the Mountbatten plan?
Conflict between Congress and Muslims also.
Conflict
Yeah, the announcement also. Lord Mountbatten.
This one today I was talking about it. Now plan we are doing. First, what is that? The clause is partition. Country could be divided into two dominions, India and Pakistan. It was clearly mentioned about India would be divided into two dominions, India and Pakistan. That was first. Second, relation between the two new dominions. Now, the dominions can decide the relationship between them as well as with the British government. So, what type of policy the country will take with the British government? That is, it is given to them to decide what type of relationship. Did you understand? Now, third,
Boundary.
boundary commission. See, they did not mention this part will go to India, this part will go to Pakistan, like that. It was not made. So they have made mentioned that was grouping was made. Understood? So in that grouping also there were so many problems. Let us take the example of Hyderabad, present day Andhra Pradesh and all, Muslim majority area. Then Kashmir you take that also Muslim majority area. Such territories there will be problem. So if that type of problem arises, then you can remember that Bangladesh, present day Bangladesh and West Bengal.
Mm.
So all this region, if there is any type of dispute, a separate boundary commission would be formed to decide the difference. Okay, that is what a boundary commission. Next, princely states. So, regarding the princely states, the earlier treaties which were made with them, do you remember that the subsidiary alliance, adoption of lapse, or like that? All those treaties which were made earlier would get lapsed. Understood? Now, these princely states can decide which part they would join. Whether to join Pakistan or to India, it was given to them to decide. That is what regarding princely states. Clear? Next, Bengal and Punjab. We know that the province of Bengal earlier they have divided into East Bengal and West Bengal. East Bengal was Muslim majority area. Then that way, if you take Punjab, West Punjab and East Punjab. So West Punjab was Muslim majority area. So regarding Bengal and Punjab, that legislative assemblies of these provinces have to decide which dominion they will join. Understood? Bengal and Punjab, the legislative assemblies of the respective provinces would decide. Next, Sindh. Sindh also Muslim majority area, but at the same time Hindus were also there. That Sindh, the legislative assembly of Sindh was to take a decision. We know that our national anthem, Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat. So Sindh is present day is in Pakistan. So that Sindh legislative assembly would decide. So it is a very complicated condition. If they want to join India also, that would create more problems. That is why the legislative assembly had taken the decision to join Pakistan. Okay, now Northwest Frontier Province. Northwest Frontier Province is near to that Afghanistan. Okay, that provinces, a plebiscite was to be held in the Northwest Frontier Province to ascertain whether the people wanted to join India or Pakistan. Plebiscite is that a public meeting in which the population, people have to gather and they have to take the decision. It's not like voting. It was decided on the basis of the boys. Okay, that is what a plebiscite. The district of Sylhet. So that is to be decided on the basis of referendum. This Sylhet was just above the East Bengal, and East Bengal and Assam. In between that only Sylhet. So they have to take a referendum to decide whether to join India or Pakistan. Next is Constituent Assembly. The existing Constituent Assembly would continue to work, but the constitution framed by it would not apply to Pakistan. We have seen, I have told you earlier, that is 389 members were there, and then afterwards 299 only. So the India's constitution makers will make constitution only for India. It is not applied to Pakistan. Next is transfer of power. The plan ended with the declaration that the transfer of power would take place not in June 1948 but much earlier. I have told you, Clement Attlee, when he come to power, he told that independence would be given before 1948 June. Now what they told? They will not wait till June 1948, much before that independence was given. What is that? When independence was given to India?
1947.
1947?
Independent. August 15.
August 15. So it was much before that date which was told. Okay. Now, this part is important. Why Indians accepted it? The historic pronouncement was received with a mixed feeling. You tell me what all of that. You have to mark it. The nationalists draw the partition of India while the Muslim League were not fully satisfied with the way Pakistan was divided, but they accepted the plan for partition because it was their demand. All India Congress Committee accepted the Mountbatten plan because there was no other alternative. Next,
the reason for finally accepting the plan by some rights. Large scale communal riots and
underline all this point.
Engels, the whole country convinced that all that the only solution to the communal problem was the partition of India. The refusal of the demand of Pakistan will amount to dividing the country into so many Pakistans.
So this was told by Sardar Patel. If we refuse to accept it now, then it would result in the creation of so many Pakistans. So the only solution is to accept it.
The League had joined the interim government to obstruct and not to cooperate. Experience of working with the League against the Congress and it would not have a joint administration with the League.
So we have seen interim government was formed by transferring that Viceroy's 14-member council. The Muslim League was also their members. They have joined the interim government to obstruct the function.
The only alternative partition was a federation with the League center. A small India with a strong central authority was better than a big state with the League center.
So when it was delayed, what is that? Federation with a weak center. But now
strong
center, small.
The leader said, any further considerations of British would mean a greater calamity of India for the British were instigating the rule of Indian state to remain independent as the partition was.
So British were instigating that rulers to stay separately. Now you just imagine two countries were created. The British were instigating the rulers to remain independent, means so many countries will come. So as early as possible, if India is made its independence, they can convince the rulers to be the partner.
The leaders felt that the further delay in the transfer of power could including the midst of a civil war.
So further delay means so
Civil
much
war.
civil war will take place.
The leaders felt that the partition would rid the constitution of separate electorates and other undemocratic procedures. India could then evolve a truly secular democratic.
So we can make our own government that yes, secular country we can form. Otherwise, it will be formed on the basis of communal. That means different groups will demand for more. Demand for each separate section. So now we can make a secular government by including them as the part. So, for example, Christians, Sikhs, and that way communities, if they were allowed to worship within the country, so that's a secular country. But if it is formed as a Hindu country, the others will start moving away. Okay. Now, Indian Independence Act. If you see Indian Independence Act, we can find the same thing which was in the Mountbatten Plan. Mountbatten Plan also told about two new dominions, India and Pakistan. Second, provisions of the partition, both Bengal and Punjab would be divided. So we have seen the legislative assemblies of the respective government will decide. Then Governor General, this one is separate. Each dominions would have Governor Generals. Understood? They have to elect. That is, India would elect India's Governor General. Do you remember who was the first Governor General of India? C. Rajagopalachari. You just check it. This is not there, but photo is there.
C. Rajagopalachari.
So that for Pakistan, they have made their own Governor General. India have appointed. Then Constituent Assembly to serve as central legislature. Now, Constituent Assembly have to be changed into Parliament. That is lawmaking body. Understood? This much time they were making constitution till new government is formed or new elections are held. They have to be transformed into central legislature. Then end of jurisdiction of the British Parliament. Hereafter,
the legislative authority of British Parliament will cease from 15 seasons.
Stop.
The titles of the Emperor of India and the King of England were dropped from the royal side. With the new constitution was framed, each dominions and all the provinces were to govern in accordance with the Act of 1935. And will they ask the Act of 1935?
1935 will not be asked. 1947.
Till the new constitution was framed, the Governor General was given the powers to modify the order of the Government of India Act 1935 by March 31st. The right of the King to veto laws.
See, earlier there was accept or reject.
Option. The right was given to Governor General. Princely states, the princely state would become independent.
This is important. What was told about the princely states.
Become independent and all the powers exercised by the British authority were to be terminated. All the treaties and agreements made by the British residents would lapse from August 15, that subsidiaries and doctors. They would be free to associate themselves with other domain and it to remain. Treaties and agreement with effect from 15 August is Majestic Government would cease to have a responsibility for the Government of India. All treaties and agreement between the British government and the rulers of India, states or any authorities in tribal areas would lapse. Agreement with the tribes of Northeast frontiers provinces were to be negotiated by the domain concerned. Division of the army and assets.
Whatever is the assets, they have to share.
Okay.
Whatever assets they are having, that also to be shared. Whatever liabilities are there, that also to be shared. And army also to be shared. Because new country is going to be created. So it is not possible for them to start from the scratch. So already existing things are to be shared.
Office of Secretary.
So you know that 1858 Act, there was an officer appointed in England to do that, coordinate that work. That officer was called a Secretary of State for Indian Affairs. So now that Secretary of State, that post will be removed, but the officers who were working under have to be assimilated with. That means Indian government have to incorporate them with their own officers. Okay.
So now how many, if they ask an act, so how many points is 4?
Maximum 4 points.
Maximum.
But
Any 4,
but
but
at the same time, see, this when a princely state is asked, or any separately also sometimes. So you have to read it. Understood? You want this thing, you have 10 minutes only. So what to do? If I start a new, the forward block, if you want, you can go through.
Forward block is done. So this was also done.
You have done. So forward block, objectives. You just mark the points.
It is smart. It is smart.
Mark properly. Which one is not the?
In school only not there.
Okay, this part is not there. These all things are not there. No.
So like objectives were there and the INA objectives were there.
So that one part you just objectives. Okay. What are the objectives?
The recognition of agriculture industry and on socialist lines. Second point, abolition of the Zamindar system. Third point, introduction of new minorities and tribute system.
Then one more thing is that the forward block's immediate objective was liberation of India with the support of workers. That point is very important. That is immediate. Then after getting independence, this all needs to be done. Okay. Now INA objectives. INA objectives to organize. Mark.
No, it is there given in mark.
You have to. Right important.
To organize an armed revolution to fight with the British army with arms, since it was not possible for the Indians to organize an armed revolution for the government, the task must be assigned to Indians living abroad. Total mobilization of Indian manpower and money for total war. The motto of the INA was unity, faith, and sacrifice.
Okay, that you have to learn. Next is that the contribution. Contribution of Subhash Chandra Bose. What was that? Subhash Chandra Bose was instrumental in the foundation of forward bloc. Then he led the freedom struggle outside the country.
He set up an INA headquarters in New York and Singapore and began to organize the.
Then he was known as, he was called as Netaji, the great leader, and he became the supreme commander of Indian National Army. Then women's regiment called Rani Jhansi Regiment and Lakshmi Swaminathan. Then recruitment and training camps were opened in different. Okay, the rest of the party you can see. Now which lesson? Quit India and all you studied?
I had optional, so I did this one.
You have to learn it. You have decided that you have understand, you have learned something, but systematically you have to learn. From the previous part, any doubt is there? Now I think the First World War is there, no? First World War not done.
Not done. But that's
You studied by yourself for exam purpose. Here I did not do this.
It was a very easy chapter.
Easy chapter. So,
The only main thing there was
but no.
national, this one.
Nationalism and Indianism.
There were like, I think there were like 4 points of definition of nationalism and imperialism. Nationalism means aggressive nationalism was there. The love for one's own country and hate for the other country, which was okay. And second was this was the first point, and then second was the rage for the armaments. Which one was the first one?
Race for the demand.
No, which was the first country to start that? Germany or France?
Germany only started.
Germany started, which made the other countries.
See, in that armaments, when you are talking, you have to write about that Franco-Prussian War. Next, that one, the emergence of this one over 1940, Germany emerged over Britain and France. It was having the ships like Imperator, that was the largest ship. Then Kiel Canal was deepened for using for battleship. Then these power blocks you have to remember. That is division of Europe into 2 hostile camps. Which were the 2 groups?
Triple Alliance and the Triple Senate.
And then okay. Who were the members of that Triple Alliance?
Germany, France.
Germany,
Britain, France, and Russia were the 3.
Triple NLA.
And the 3 were
Austria-Hungary.
No, Austria-Hungary.
Austria-Hungary, Germany, and Ottoman.
Germany and Austria-Hungary. And Italy joined the alliance. Italy played a very, they were like okay, but they left and joined Germany.
Then Sarajevo crisis. Sarajevo, that was the
immediate cause. They killed the higher of the Austria. Higher of what?
Austria-Hungary.
Austria-Hungary, which they made a treaty which they did not agree, which led to First World War, and then many countries.
Now, which country was blamed for that murder?
Germany.
Serbia was.
Serbia was.
And Serbia, why Serbia was blamed for that?
Because it was in that people from there.
See, assassination was organized by secret society called the Black Hand or Union of the. So,
by exploratory Serbian nationals.
Okay. Then after the First World War, you have to remember about the Treaty of Versailles.
The Germany were 15 years of 15 years. No, the coal mine was given to 15 years for the France, and the there was some limitation for the army to reduction of no boats.
Rhine Valley was
Yeah.
demilitarized. Then Germany had to pay a indemnity of 33.
33 billion.
Okay. Territorial rearrangement also.
They were divided and separated.
Then formation of League of Nations.
Okay.
So these were the reasons for Second World War.
These were Germany
Treaty of Versailles. Because Treaty of Versailles was a humiliating treaty, and they were not able to do it. Then even League of Nations failed it.
Ma'am, because their army was very low. What do you say?
Actually, League of Nations was not having any army of its own.
USA itself had their army, so even if they violated evil, they could they were like higher army standards, so it was not a problem. Like if they wanted.
Many countries did not join, or many countries were not given membership. That who prepared that one itself did not join. USA did not join. And USSR, Russia was a party, but not given that membership. And after some time, Germany withdrew from it. So, like that, all these conditions were prepared in the treaty itself. Clear? Now we have to, that is next week we will start with the dictatorship, no rise of dictatorship.
So we are skipping first world. First
world now we discuss, no?
No, I'm asking, will we do first world or that will try to
that will be, now we discussed all the things.
No, yeah. There was studied, I think, because in exams he explained.
Let's just see. If it is required, then otherwise.
I don't think, because it was an important chapter in this thing. Map also we educated
But a map is coming.
Map?
No.
I'm actually map for this.
Yeah, so now dictatorship is the Second World War, then UNO, then specialized agencies, non-aligned movement, then Freemasons. Then the other side, we have to learn about the Supreme Court and High Court. I think so, no? 2 lessons. Prime Minister I have taught. So 5 plus 2, 7. Okay, whose call is coming?
Friend.
Okay, I think 35. Okay. Next class definitely you have to come.
Yes,